Hey guys, it's Sunday the 6th of October. Look at that, I knew the date straight away.
Look at you go.
It's the week that was. So just having a talk about everything. So today our team went to a craft market at Maitland. Apparently they come on once a month. So Beck, one of our beautiful volunteers that comes in, she's actually very crafty. She can make anything, can't she, Tani?
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's amazing. So she did some sewing, she made some bandanas, she made some cat pads, and then Kirsty and the team, I think Pat, Pete, I'm not exactly sure who else went along, but quite a few team volunteers went over as well, and they were selling some stuff that had been raised for given to us actually. So Trish up in Queensland makes things, she sends it down for us to auction off. So they had a big market stall and it was great. I believe that they were kept busy all day. We're not exactly sure what the tally is, but I believe that Beck was probably chasing them around the markets with the with the barrel, like a bucket, donating. And while they were there, Pete took one of our dogs, Maggie, over to the markets, and our local MP, Meryl Swanson, actually saw little Maggie and did a feature piece with her, obviously talking about the markets, but also then talking about little Maggie. So we're very lucky that she's now got some big exposure thanks to Meryl, and yeah, it is something that we're actually going to be doing, looking into about maybe going once a month, and trying to sort of raise some money that way as well. So anyway, it was a great day for the guys, and little Maggie got some exposure, which we're pretty grateful for.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Kirsty and this is Maggie from Maitland Animal Management Centre. And Maggie's up for adoption. She is absolutely divine. She's only a puppy, but she's so calm and beautiful. So if you can provide a good home for Maggie, then you need to get in touch. Kirsty, what can people do?
They can email us, they can phone us. My email address is fundraising.marc@gmail.com.
Oh, beautiful. Isn't she beautiful? Maitland Animal Rescue, Maitland Animal Management Facility it is, everyone. And this is beautiful Maggie. What a good girl, Maggie. I know, beautiful.
Yesterday we had the team from RMS. I don't even know if it's just RMS. I think it's called the Service Centre now. They sort of do your registration. I think they're Medicare, and there's just a whole lot of things that they do. But anyway, the Service Centre at Wallsend came to visit us yesterday. They came bearing lots of gifts, and I mean lots of gifts. So on the 4th of October was the World Animal Day, and they actually did a donation drive for us, and we're very grateful that they chose us. There was so many donations, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, so Tani's got some photos of those. The guys were lovely. They had a look around, and we sort of hint, you can actually come and volunteer with us. And they said, well, we actually do a paid volunteer day. And I said, hello, we'd love to have you. So anyway, here's the donations from those guys. So we've only had one adoption this week, and there's a bit of a story about this adoption. So Bob got adopted yesterday. Now he was a stray that came in, and the person that actually adopted Bob was his finder. Now Bob came in, he was he microchipped?
Yeah.
He was microchipped, and no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't get them to answer the phone. We sent them texts. I think I sent them an email. Nothing. So anyway, I started to really delve into it and thinking, okay, is somebody in trouble? I did a welfare check with the police, and then I had a brainstorm of how I might be able to find him. What I ended up doing was finding a relative, and the relative said, look, I'll see if I can get hold of him. Funny enough, they got hold of him straight away, and they called me and said, oh, you're trying to ring us. We don't own a dog called Bob. And I said, oh, that's strange. This dog is microchipped to you. It's in your relative's address. All your details are there. Are you sure? Positive. I said, okay, that's fine, no problem. I'll look into it. I'll find the breeder. Find the breeder I did. So the dog was bred up in Corindi, which is quite a few hours away. And I spoke to the breeder and she said, look, yep, we rehomed them. We couldn't find any homes for them up there, so we drove them down to the Hunter and we sold a couple of them in the Hunter. And anyway, I said to her, do you have a copy of any texts or anything like that? She said, yep. I said, send them through. Lo and behold, same phone number. I think they knew that the gig was up. They called me back and they said, oh, there's a bit of a confusion. We don't own a dog, Bob. We own this dog. And I said, so you agree that you actually own a Jack Russell? Yes, we do. I said, do you have your dog at home? So anyway, get to the crust of it. They got Bob when he was a 2-month-old puppy. Bob's only 4 months now. Bob, like any puppy, is very energetic, and so Bob had to go. So the husband decided he was taking Bob and he was taking him to the outskirts of Maitland. Anywhere between, I think the wife said, between Thornton and Raymond Terrace. Now that's a long road. Now Bob was found at East Maitland on a very, very busy intersection. He'd been in some sort of a swamp. The finder and numerous other vehicles had stopped to try and get Bob off the road, who was running frantically. They couldn't catch him. A boy on a scooter came past, got off his scooter, and little Bob ran to him because he's used to being around kids, you see. So the kid picked up Bob and he said, well, what do I do with him? And the lady said, look, I'll take him. I'll get him over to the pound and whatnot. It was late in the afternoon, so she took Bob home, gave him a bath, tried to find the owner. She listed him. No luck. She brought him into the pound. And that's where I had to start my investigations. I've now got a confession from them that they dumped him. Unbelievable. Bob could have been killed. If you take on an animal, it's usually for life. But if things do not work out, then you have to be responsible. You can't just take a 4-month-old puppy and dump him on the side of the road and hope to God that he gets found. Not killed, doesn't cause an accident. You know, this poor dog deserves so much better. So anyway, when I actually spoke to the finder to get some particulars, she said to me, look, if he doesn't get claimed, can you put my name down? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll let you know. Anyway, so I rang her and I said, Bob's actually available for adoption. She said, I'm on my way. I said, oh, do you think you should ask your husband? She said, oh yeah, I better do that. Yeah. I think she called back within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Tony.
it was less than 5 minutes later.
It was less than 5. We're still coming. The husband loved him, and the look on Bob's face when he saw them. So he was with them for 2 days, with us for 2 days, and he just remembered that kindness that they showed him, and he was so excitable. So we ended up finding out what Bob's story was. We got him surrendered and we rehomed him. Now those people could face criminal charges for what they've done. I've got signed confession. But I just hope that this will serve a lesson to not only them, but anybody else that thinks that's acceptable. Because I don't know what other pounds do, but I give it my all. What do you call me? A find out...
Oh, find outologist.
I'm a find outologist, and that is what I'll do because they deserve that. Bob's going to be okay, but it could have been very, very different.
Okay, Dee, so we're at the point of the video now where we do our happy and sad. So what, have you got any sad moments for this week, or?
I think the sad moments for me is how many dumpings. All of those dogs are unmicrochipped, so all of their history is gone. We don't even know how old they are. We don't even know.
Which dogs are these? Sorry, we haven't spoken about them yet.
We've got a lot of stray dogs in at the moment, and we've done a video today of all the dogs, asking the community if they actually know these dogs. And I think the sad thing for me is that there's a good chance that nobody will speak up for these animals. But the ones that I do find out, the excuses they use, it's not great. One of them actually used the excuse that, I'm sorry, my daughter's actually on the run from domestic violence. You can't contact her, only through a solicitor. Well, we said, well, could we have the name of the solicitor so that we can see who she rehomed the dog, because obviously the dog's escaped. No, we can't give you that. No, I'm not prepared to give you that. And I thought, you know what? No, somebody has to be that dog's voice. So I went and did my investigations. The woman's not on the run. No, she's still at home. The finder is known to the family. And I said to them, how could you use that excuse? I said, do you understand that people are in shelters, people are actually on the run, and that's the excuse you want to use instead of saying, look, he barks too much, you know? I said, I think that's the thing that really makes me sad, is that how many animals are disposable, but how many people use really horrible excuses instead of just saying, look, it's not working out, you know, I'm not coping with this animal, you know. But to use excuses that are, you know, oh, the dog attacked my baby, and I said, oh, well, we can't rehome an animal that's attacked a child, you know, it's going to have to go through a process. Oh, not attacked really. And I said, well, what did the animal do? Oh, it lunged at the baby it was on one of those automatic rockers. And I said, did it bite the baby? No, but it barked. I said, do you understand, with that excuse, that would almost stop that animal from being adopted? Yeah, but it's not really, is it? I just thought you'd be able to find it a nice home. Well, did it attack or didn't it attack? You know, so these are the things that I think I find quite sad. And I think that's it. I think it's the excuses and the level of deceit that people go, and just the number of animals that are disposable. That's my sad.
Well, and we've also had people use the excuse of they've now got cancer and things like that when they actually don't. They're healthy, just living at home. Like, people are actually struggling with these things, and like it, yeah.
They are, you know, but I find that those people that are struggling with those things, Tani, they fight to the bitter end.
Yeah.
They want to keep those animals with them, and if they can't, their priority. We actually know somebody that was dying many years ago, and they reached out to us from, was it Cowra? Remember the Dalmatians? The owner was dying, and she had, was it 3 Dalmatians at that time? And this is when I was back at Erina, and they couldn't get anybody to help them. Now, we sent Ben to Cowra to pick up those dogs, because back then the facility I was at was double the size of this one. And we took those dogs on, and one of them was, Tonto was palliative himself, and so I put him into a foster care until he passed away. And the other 2 got adopted.
Wombat and Stella.
But I remember that, you know, that person, those dogs meant everything to her. So when our volunteer went to get them, he actually drove to the nursing home, to her hospice, and they brought her outside from palliative care to say her goodbyes to those dogs. she held on to them for as long as she possibly could, and she did pass away. And that's what I find, you know, that there's a lot of people, they don't give up. Even when they're down and out, they don't give up. And they certainly don't use false excuses.
Okay, so we just heard the sad. What's some happy points from this week?
Ooh, okay. So my happy point was, it was a little bit of a shock. It was Alfie. So you know that we adopted Alfie out last week, and I got a phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning. I think it was the very following day that Alfie got adopted.
Monday morning.
That's always a really sickening feeling, to think, oh my God, what's happened? Has he escaped? Is he too much for the guy? And you might just automatically goes to the worst case scenario. But as I'm sitting here and I'm preparing myself for bad news, the gentleman rang up just to say, I just want to say thank you. And I said, oh, he said, I love him. He said, he's a great dog. He said, look, I am a bit worried he might be able to clear the fence. So he said, I've got Dad to come over today, pick him up. He's gone out with Dad to the farm today to go introduce him to Cuddle and spend the day with him, and I'm just going to raise my fences up. But he said no. He said it was purely just to say thank you. And I'm like, oh my God, we have absolutely found him the best house. And he had an accident in the house, and he goes, it's all good, no problem. He said, I love him, he's a great dog. So that would be my first happy moment. My second happy moment is I actually got away this week. Don and I travelled up to Port Macquarie, had a few days away, which obviously did wonders. So at the start of the week I had to have some treatment, and I wasn't feeling very great.
Yeah, you looked awful on Monday when you came back from it.
Yeah, I've been pretty sick, and so anyway, Don said, right, that's it, we're going away. We did have some rainy weather, but that was okay. What I became was Rip Van Winkle. I slept lots, and we just chilled out. It was great. We went on a boat ride and everything like that, and you wouldn't believe it. So where we based ourselves, we walked everywhere, and we sort of just went everywhere. We'd go there for breakfast, we'd go out for tea. It was great. We walked into a restaurant called Sombreros, and it's a Mexican restaurant, and Don's never eaten Mexican. I'm like, do you want to try it? And Don said, yeah, I'll give it a go. We walk in there, we line up, and the lady said to me, you're a long way from home. I sort of looked behind me, I'm like, who's she talking to? It's only me and Don there. Don's looking at us and thinking, I don't know what's going on. She goes, you run a rescue at the Central Coast. Is your name Dee? And I said, yes. She goes, I follow you. She said, I'm from the Central Coast. She said, I'm up here at uni, and I'm working here. She said, I just follow you. So it had a bit of a moment with meeting a supporter, Chloe, and had a little bit of a cuddle and said, oh, you've made my day, thank you.
But you're getting a cuddle out of Dee. She's not a cuddler, guys.
I'm not a cuddler. I cuddle when I'm really, really, really sad, and so I wasn't sad. I was on holidays, so there was nothing to be sad about, but it just made my day. It's not that I need recognition, but it was really nice just to sort of say, you know, hey, we follow you, because, you know, we kind of love that we're not alone in this journey, and that people support us and see things, you know, and want to help the animals. And I know that everybody that follows, you know, animal pages are animal lovers, so, you know, it's really nice to see that we're not a minority as well. But anyway, that's the week that was.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.